So, a few years back when I was studying at University of North Florida, we were fortunate enough to have the great Maria Schneider come in to give clinics and a performance where she conducted the top ensemble. She had a ton of information to offer, an overwhelming amount really. But one of the things that really stood out to me was an interesting concept about harmony. Oftentimes, we musicians will assign extra musical terms to certain gestures to give a better idea of what they are. Things like bright, or dark, or glassy, or watery, or airy, or earthy. And while these can be effective in getting the point across about how a musician wants something to sound, it can be hard to pin down what exactly they mean. Something is always lost in translation. But Maria offered a very concrete definition of bright and dark harmonies that is absolutely brilliant and that I still use to this day. Now, Maria actually admitted to getting this concept from somebody else, but I just can't remember who it was. If anyone has a clue, please let me know in the comments. Alright, buckle in because it's theory time.
Theory time!
So it goes like this. Every scale is comprised of a combination of whole steps and half steps. There's a pattern that each scale follows, a formula if you will, that tells you what the scale will look like in a given key. For example, major is whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. Natural minor is whole, half, whole, half, whole. And melodic minor is whole, half, whole, half. There are scales like harmonic minor and the augmented scale that have intervals greater than a whole step, but most scales follow some kind of half step, whole step scheme. Now, keep in mind, these are just your parent scales. When you're talking about harmony, you also need to consider the modes. So, back to Maria's concept. The idea is the further away from the root the half steps are, the brighter the harmony. The closer to the root the half steps are, the darker the harmony. Neat, right? Now, because there are two half steps in most scales, there is a hierarchy to follow here, an order of operations, if you will. When evaluating a scale's brightness or darkness, we first look at the half step closer to the root and then the one above that. For example, both Lydian and Lydian dominant have their first half step between the sharp 4 and the 5. However, because Lydian's second half step is between the leading tone and the root, and Lydian dominant's second half step is between the 6th and the 7th, Lydian is the brighter harmony here. Conversely, if we're comparing Mixolydian flat 6 to melodic minor, even though Mixolydian flat 6 has its second half step between the 5th and the 6th, while melodic minor is leading tone and root, because Mixolydian flat 6 has its first half step between the 3rd and the 4th, while melodic minor is the 2nd and the 3rd, melodic minor wins the darkness contest. And now for the moment I know you've been waiting for, a full list of all of the modes ordered from brightest to darkest. Here we go. Lydian augmented. Lydian. Lydian dominant. Ionian. Mixolydian. Mixolydian flat 6. Ionian flat 3. Dorian. Aeolian. Locrian sharp 2. Phrygian sharp 6. Phrygian. Locrian. And the darkest mode of them all,
Super Locrian.
So hopefully this helps. It's a cool concept, but it's also very useful. As a musician, you want to have as much control as possible over what you're communicating to the audience and how it comes across. This concept can come in handy when you're composing and trying to find that perfect chord. So that's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And of course, stay tuned for more videos. And as always, happy practicing.